Hello and welcome back to another day in the woods, where it is actually a big day because we are finally cutting the grass for the first time. It is growing beautifully, and on average it is somewhere between 7 and 10 centimeters in length, which means it needs its first cut. You need to take about a third off the top, and it needs to have a sharp blade when you cut it for the first time, otherwise it just kind of bends the grass over. So I have been sent, I'm very excited about this, the Neomo X, a robotic lawnmower from Hookii. It can mow up to 1.5 acres of land. It has 3D LiDAR slam and visual navigation, precise dynamic obstacle avoidance, and anti-clogging disc design. So I am hoping all of the things that fall in that area should be fine to leave, as this thing will navigate its way around it. My only concern is that this is my garage, and about 50 meters away is the event green. And I'm wondering if it can navigate itself from here to there to cut on a regular basis. And there is only one way to find out, by setting it up. So cue the music and roll the time lapse. Okay, we have it unboxed on its charging station amongst all of this rubbish, which I will tidy up before I set it up properly. It has been updated and it's on about 90% battery. So the first thing I need to do is actually map out where I want it to mow. And as I mentioned, make a route for it to actually get there. What I might end up doing in the future is, because this is solely going to be cutting this grass on the event green, I might actually create a little shed for it, because I need to run a socket out here at some point in the future anyway. So I might create a little shelter / shed for it so I can park it and it stays in this area. But for today's purposes, we're going to drive it up here and manually map out the area. All right, I have made it to the event green where I'm going to be cutting the grass, and I'm going to set the start point and start driving it around the perimeter of the event green. Now, it's kind of hard to film this because obviously I've got face cam and I'm screen recording, so it's just it's a bit of an odd setup, but bear with me. The camera might disappear at some point as I have to follow it around the event green. But without further ado, let's start driving this thing, which straight away it's like a video game, and it's very enjoyable to do for that reason. But essentially what I'm doing is just controlling it and driving it around the perimeter of the event green, and then it will know exactly which area it needs to cut in, and then it will basically do a style of cutting that I want. I imagine by this point I'm very much no longer on camera, but I'd be interested to see if the microphone can still actually hear me. But one thing I didn't realize when I first did this is that you can actually move the map around, so you can see the base station is actually quite far away from where I am, and you can essentially just move your finger around the screen to change the map. What I may end up doing is including the playset area. Right, I'm back now. I don't know if the camera picked me up for that entire thing, but I can now set an end point and complete the mapping, and we'll call this event green. Done. Hit save. Right, now what I want to do is I actually want to add a recharge path to basically get it back home. So we'll set this as the start point, and then I'll drive it back to the base station. All right, I have now mapped out the area, and I've had to move the lawnmower underneath the gazebo, not because it's raining, but because I couldn't get an area up there where it would actually leave the station comfortably, because everything's on an incline or on a slope over there. It's all bumpy and all over the place, whereas this is perfectly level. So I've got it set up here, and I've mapped it to basically drive itself all the way up the path to the area where it's going to be cutting. And we're about to find out if it can make it on its own. So, has no problem with leaving the dock at all. Whether it can make it all the way there, if it does, I will be very, very impressed. It's nailing it so far. It's up the path where I'm a little concerned. Gets through the gate. So far, I am very impressed. It's quite the incline to get up here, so it's still doing it. I am gobsmacked. However, this is where it gets a little bit challenging because there's like a board down because we dug up the path. Is it gonna keep going? Or is it having a problem? Yeah, unfortunately, had a little bit of a problem right here. Not the end of the world, as I said. For the purposes of today, I've just set it down there, and I probably will create a little shed for it because I don't really want it crossing the car park at any random point during the day. It has obstacle avoidance, so it'll know anyway, and you can see it. But for the future, I think it's going to need its own little home up here. Either way, I am very impressed that it's managed to get all the way up to the event green. And whilst that was a test in itself, the big test comes from how well is it going to cut on this terrain. It's incredibly quiet, but it has spun up the blades and it's off. Now on the camera, it might seem like a really nice flat level area, but it isn't. You've got some areas of soil which is kind of hard and clayey, like you can see there, and then other areas where it's actually quite soft. When I was manually driving it, I dug it into the ground because where we did the border over there, it's really soft soil. And I wasn't, because the grass is growing on it, I wasn't exactly sure where the borderline should be. So it's managed to get all the way to the corner so far. And it is most definitely cutting the grass. The only downside is ideally I wanted to wait for it to be like a nice, sunny, dry day. But we've had like non-stop rain, hail, on and off with sun as well. Which hasn't helped things, so it is a little bit damp out here, and even now it's spitting a little bit. So yeah, not the best conditions for it, but I can't really help the weather. It's like I could be waiting like a month for all I know, do you know what I mean? So we're just gonna have to let it do its thing and hope it's all fine. I mean, already I can see the grass level looking much better, but I don't know if it's because of the weight of the lawnmower or the fact that it's wet. Probably because it's wet, that it's kind of pushing over the grass blades and they're getting like stuck down. So yeah, it's quite interesting to see how it navigates itself around, because as I said, the terrain is just a bit all over the place. Like when you're stood and walking around, it doesn't really seem like that much, but these like little humps and bumps that stick out the ground can be quite a pain for the lawnmower to deal with, but it's managing it just fine. And I haven't really mentioned it at this point, but one of the nicest things about this lawnmower is I've not had to have it sat right next to the Wi-Fi in order to do this. It is very much a plug and play. There was a few firmware updates to do, and it did recommend to be connected to Wi-Fi for a bit more of a stable download speed and stuff like that. But otherwise, the only thing it really needs is power to charge it. So if I can get a plug socket out here and then put it, in a little shelter, we should be set. I don't have to worry about anything. The real test is actually going to come when it gets all the way around to this area, because the soil is softer and all of the play set. When I was manually mapping it out, I figured to myself, well, I might as well include that grass section there as well, because, get the lawnmower to cut it all. It's all connected. So I did draw a path all the way around that, so I'll be interested to see how the lawnmower gets on, like avoiding the playset, the trees, because I've not told it that they're there. I think you're meant to set that up, but I really wanted to see how well it would just cope with, like, this is the whole area, avoid what's there, and go around things, because it's meant to have really smart like AI detection, and it's got camera on it and stuff like that, and it avoids obstacles really well. So already I can see the grass is looking much shorter where it's gone over. So I don't know how long it's going to take it to cut this entire area. It is quite a large area. I think after I mapped it, it said it was roughly 700 meters squared. So it is a big space. I am very glad. You heard it a little bit earlier that I actually got some of the roots out, but in this corner, haven't quite got all of the twigs and roots out. So it's had a gnaw at them, but I do need to chop these out this lawnmower isn't going to be able to keep those down. So something to keep in mind. You know you're getting old when cutting grass for the first time is exciting. Maybe it's the fact that this was once heavily overgrown, as you can see on screen, and I have cut it away, I have leveled it off, I've learned how to use a digger and graded the whole area. I've then raked it, I've seeded it, I've weeded it. It's been like a labor of love to get this area to how it is now. And so far, the robot lawnmower is absolutely nailing it. It's cutting the grass nicely and evenly across the whole thing. And it's doing currently, as you can see, straight lines back and forth. Now, obviously, you can see the tread marks, if you will, and that's mainly because of how damp it all is out here. But this will all fluff back up and it will look just like it does over there. I don't think it will stay like this. Time will obviously tell how right I am about that, but I haven't actually been up here for a while because the weather's been awful. I've been here, there and everywhere, but I haven't cut it till obviously today. And a large percentage of the patchy spots around the event green have actually started to fill in on their own. So if me cutting the grass encourages it to spread even further, then this could actually end up turning out to be a really, really nice grassy field. But I'm going to leave it for now, but I'm going to come back out here later when it starts to get to this area where the grass is slightly different, shouldn't make any difference, but there are nettles in here. Now, I don't think it's going to struggle with nettles at all because it does have razor blades on them, on it, but there are fallen branches everywhere. Like I said, I can't get over the fact that I don't need Wi-Fi. I'm in the woods and it's just doing it. With no guidance or instruction. Obviously, I mapped out the area for it to do it. It's just going backwards and forwards in straight lines, cutting the area. So yeah, this is going to be a real test because of how different the types of weeds growing out the ground are here. So if it gets stuck, it gets stuck. And then over here as well, the soil is really soft, where you can see there's basically no grass. There's actually no real reason for the lawnmower to go into this area. I am going to seed it and I want grass there, but yeah, there's no reason for it to go into this area and cut stuff. However, nettles are starting to pop up quite a bit in this area, so if it cuts those as well, we're on for a real win. But I do feel kind of mean with the lawnmower because I have literally treated it as plug and play, and I want to push it to its limit to exactly know what it can cope with and what it can't cope with. The fact that it got all the way from the back garden up here, which is a really long way for it to go, don't get me wrong, it got stuck at one spot, which I need to correct, that's on me anyway, means I might actually keep it down there and it could cut my back garden as well. As not only do I have grass here, but I also have it here. Now, granted, this does need some lawn care to the degree where I might actually just lift the whole lawn, scrape it and lay down brand new turf or seed it. Not entirely sure which way to go yet. A mole has gone to town in here. I drove a digger through it. I'm probably going to have another digger in the back garden when we figure out what we're doing with the laurel tree. But if it can cut this area and up there, I can actually create, when I do the gate over there, a little dog flap for it to drive through. But then on top of that, I also have my front garden. So once this fencing goes and we create a hedge line here, I could actually create an area for it to drive through. And because they connect there, it could drive through and cut the front lawn. As I say, it does cover up to 1.5 acres, which is a huge amount of space. So I don't think it should have an issue. The fact that it's driven up there is still boggling my brain. But if I get it to cut the front lawn, the back lawn, take a pathway through the garden and all the way up to the event green as well, oh my God, I'll never have to mow the lawn again. In the future, I may very well actually seed the paddock area as well. But as I mentioned in the previous vlog, I do want to put hardcore down here to create a bit of a drive, and I am getting wood chip dropped off there. I did think the wood chip was coming today, but it's not. It's not coming for a while. But yeah, the problem is, even though it's nice just kind of leave it to it, I still am going to have to babysit a bit because things like this, huge branches, due to the weathers and the storm stuff, they drop all the time. So I don't know how it's going to get on with that. I might end up with patches where it's not cut and I'll have to go out and move branches and so on. But all the same, it is absolutely nailing it. Well, update report. It's been going for like an hour. It got stuck when I went for lunch because around the kind of starting area with the car park, there is like holes and it's brickwork and it's really hard to get around. So as you can see, it was going back and forth, and when it got to this bit, it would come past this, avoid the buckets, because I put the buckets there intentionally to stop it because you can see how bad it gets there. But it would go around and then it would slide itself through that little gap there, and it was getting stuck on random bits down here. When it gets stuck, you get notified that it's stuck and it can't go anywhere, and it kind of just freezes itself in the spot and you have to go and reset it. So after resetting it a couple times to see if I could kind of force it to get itself through there and figure out a right path for itself, eventually what I ended up doing was just excluding all of the area between the trees, because there's no grass there anyway. So rather than trying to navigate through all this kind of pointlessly, because there's nothing to actually cut with the exception of a bit of grass here, I added a no-go zone so it doesn't drive into that area, and then reset it back up. And now it is cutting the nettles and the old grass, which so far it seems to be doing a pretty good job of it. Now, because the nettles are at a certain height, I think what's happening is it's kind of flattening them, and then the blades can't get to them to cut them. So instead of cutting the nettles, it's kind of just rolling over them and flattening them. However, when they are small enough, it does actually catch them. So you can see here already that some of the nettles have been cut, but some of them have been missed. I think after it's gone over it several times, because obviously I'm going to set this up on a schedule, the more it goes over it, eventually I think it will just get all of the nettles. So it's not something I need to worry about too much. Worst case scenario, there's a couple of like big ones that it can't cut, and then I'll just cut those myself, and then it'll go over them repeatedly. I don't know how well constantly cutting the nettles is going to keep them down. I would presume eventually the grass will just take over and the nettles won't be able to grow anymore. That's the hope with this whole like getting a lawnmower to regularly cut the grass here. And another reason why I seeded all of this was so I could suppress the nettles and the thorns and stop them from growing. The problem with like the thorn bushes, if I can see one, is that whilst on the surface they look like nettles, the roots for them are much thicker, and the lawnmower just won't cut through that. So hopefully it should be good for like the grass and the nettles. It seems to be proving me right now that it is cutting that just fine. And I'm gonna have to come out here and weed some of the bigger stems that stick out the ground. I mean, right now it's kind of navigating itself around in like circles to avoid some of the big ones sticking out, because there's just no way it can cut that. So you can see it's essentially trying to navigate itself around it because it knows it can't cut it. But as I've mentioned before, I've never had a lawn and I've never had anything on this scale before where I'm dealing with nettles and thorns and briar bushes and so on. So it's all a bit of a learning curve, but so far, so good. Now, even though this has a really large battery and can run for a long time, this area is quite large, so I'm gonna leave it to it for now, as I imagine it will take quite a while for it to cut the entire area, and we're gonna go crack on with some other jobs. I will come back later on and check on how it's doing, and I'll let you know how the grass looks once it's all been cut. But rather than watching it, I'm gonna get on with cleaning some of this stuff because it's just rubbish all over the place, materials left out, and more scrap around here from when we did the patio work. Like the whole shed is there. Needs moving, it needs organizing. I still don't really know when we're gonna continue on with the shed. I might start working on it soon, but in the interim, we might as well get the area tidy so when we are ready to go for it, we're working in a clean environment. So with that in mind, I'm gonna get you back on the tripod and we're gonna get all of this tidied away.
I just wanna be free. I feel it coming, it won't take long. The future's everything we dream. I just wanna be free. Just look around and take it all in. We got everything we need. I just wanna be free. I feel it coming, it won't take long. The future's everything we dream. I just wanna be free. As I flow through the valley, carving out my path, make a splash, John Sally. Live from the blacktop, from the roads that I knew well. When I was too small to know it hurt when you fell, yeah. And the road's more bumpy than it used to be. There's no house is where they used to be. Feel I'm in a movie scene, get to know the newest me. Make my legacy more than just the truancy. And I'm still flowing fluently, all these years later though. Ride the same roads, clocking in to the radio. Sliding through the snow, but the snow turned to slush. And the slush to a lush garden, we don't gotta rush. It's a must that I be free. Yeah, you know me. Yeah, you know me. Yeah, you know me. The only way I can be. Yeah, you know me. I just wanna be free. I feel it coming, it won't take long. The future's everything we dream. I just wanna be free. Just look around and take it all in. We got everything we need. I just wanna be free. I feel it coming, it won't take long. The future's everything we dream. I just look up to the sky like, help me get my mind right. Help me read the signs while we tracing out the skyline. Pencil in the timeline, but don't you know that time flies? I'm trying to tell the younger cats they ain't got 9 lives. I'm always down to connect like the Wi-Fi, but when it's down, all you do is frown. Why not ask why? When you need to find out, think you better tap in. Life ain't got a timeout, I just gotta lie down. It's hard to stay up on my feet, reaching for some honesty. Gotta tell it honestly, we done grabbed the pots and pans and plan to make a bomb beat. We'd rather live big than be I just wanna be free. I feel it coming, it won't take long. The future's everything we dream. I just wanna be free. Just look around and take it all in. We got everything we need. I just wanna be free. I feel it coming, it won't take long. The future's everything we dream. I just wanna be free. Just look around and take it all in. We got everything we need. I just wanna be free.
Okay, progress has been made. And I will not be defeated by this rain. I don't know if you saw in the time lapse, but it's been chucking it down non-stop and it's been on and off. But I have managed to get this area all tidied up now. I burnt through a lot of the wood that I had left over, as well as like the sheet stuff that I couldn't burn. It's gone to the scrap pile, and I got the allotment tidied up a little bit. The lawnmower is very nearly done, so we'll be checking on that soon. But there is one last thing that I want to do. When I'm out here, I said I want to tick away a little bit at a time by doing some of these flower beds. And this one started planting things, and things are starting to blossom and grow. However, we have recently just picked up this rhododendron. I still can't say this thing. I'm pretty sure there's a comment telling me how to pronounce it as well. Anyways, we have picked up this flower, and it can go up to like just over a meter or 4 foot in size. So rather than swamping it in this flower bed, because I've already got some stuff that's going to grow quite large in here, what I'm thinking is tackling this bed. Now, I'm not going to go crazy and do the whole thing. Like I said, just little bits at a time. But you can see all these box bushes that are in here. I don't like these. They need to go. So I'm going to remove those out, which will tidy up a lot of this bed. This rose plant currently is in a pot, so wants to go in the ground. Get rid of some of these weeds, and I'll probably stop at this tree here, like this bush that you can see growing over, and tidy all of this up so that can go right there. I did consider taking this peony out, but I think what needs doing is it just needs to be hemmed back a little bit, because it is going a little bit too big, and I want to keep it down so you can kind of still walk up to this water feature, which I want to tidy up and reinstate at some point in the future. You can't even really see it on the camera, that's how bad it is. So what I'm thinking is we get rid of all the box bushes, turn the soil over, make it a nice little bed again, plant the new flowers in it, probably plant the rose there as well, and then we have done a little bit of the garden. Like I said, just keep ticking away. Progress, even if it's a little bit, is progress, and I want to keep it going. I don't think I'm going to be putting wood chip in it. I might do. We'll see how it looks aesthetically, but for now, let's get this tidied up. Right, I think the easiest way is just to be cutthroat and just chop this guy out. So we will just cut away until there is no more. Right, I know that might be sad to some, but I just don't like them. To be fair, what I'll do is For every one of these I've taken out, I'll replant a box bush hedgeline somewhere. I think that's fair. Let's get this one. They're quite hard to cut out because you can't see. This chainsaw, honestly, so good. So another one. Already feeling so much better about this flower bed. Let's get this one out of the front and reveal this peony. I can see a very large cloud coming. So I don't know how long I'll be able to do this for. What a difference it makes having those gone. Such a difference. One more big one back here. There's so much water on this peony, I'm getting soaked. This one's already been cut once. Look at the size of that one. Okay, that is a lot of them chopped out. Time to get it all removed. I am very conscious, by the way, it might not seem it when I'm doing this kind of stuff, but I am very conscious about what I'm doing in terms of, like, you know, is this a weed or is this like a flower that just hasn't blossomed yet? Is this intentionally planted or is it, you know, self-seeded and so on? I am mindful to check everything first, but as I say, these laurels, so obsessed with laurels. These box bushes, whilst they may have been intentional, high possibility, it is something that I don't want here. And I'm also very aware of how out of control they can kind of get, because they will just plant themselves. There is a degree of self-seeding to them. Now, don't get me wrong, there is going to be a point where I do want the flower beds to not look so like barren and bare. And like I said, when these bigger ones grow out, I probably will come back and plant some smaller ones at the base just to fill out the bed a little bit, because you can already tell by taking out, like, what I've taken 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 box bushes, and infinitely, like, there is just so much more bed. The flower bed's just so much more room in it. I mean, to be honest, this bed itself, weed wise, I don't know if it's because the shade has been casted from the box bushes, but isn't as bad as the other one. It's all quite easy to pull. Ouch! That's karma. Just got stabbed by something. This is why I bought this rake, so I didn't have to use my hands. It's so good. What I am going to do at some point is plant some more roses around, and like a lot of different varieties of roses. I'm actually going to speak to my nan. I keep meaning to go see her, but get so caught up with work and everything else going on. It's like so hard to find just a sliver of the day, which is an awful excuse. It's such a shit excuse. Excuse my French, but it is a terrible excuse. You're going to make time, aren't you? So I go to see my nan, speak to her about like what roses and what flowers she likes, plant some in the bed for her. Need a sieve. That might be my next tool I get. I mean, I could just make one, I guess, actually. That's going to be the next thing I buy, I think. Just a small thing makes such a huge difference. Oh, and the heavens have opened again. Right, let's be quick about it. Let's get these ones out, and then I'll need to move the camera before you get soaked. Sorry for the angle. Oh, I'm getting very wet. Typical, isn't it, when you decide to do stuff outside? The weather isn't kind. I don't necessarily mind working outside and getting wet. Doesn't really bother me that much. If we throw back to the time that I was on the roof doing the roof thing and it was horrendously chucking it down, it doesn't bother me. But the camera doesn't like it. So yeah, gonna need a new camera soon, which, little nod to the nose, there is one on the way, so better vlogs coming soon. Right, that's the box bushes done. Let's move all this stuff out and get the rest of this bed sorted out. with a wee bit of a time lapse. So, I think it looks really good, but oh my God, I'm pooped. All in all, however, I do think it was worth it. Getting rid of those box bushes was no joke, but even though there's like a little flower in there right now, that does go 1 meter wide, so it will fill this whole spot here. Get some more little plants around here, but it looks way better. With the small odd jobs now done in the garden, I can relax a little bit and we can go and have a look at how good this lawnmower has done. It's done a mint job. I mean, just look at this. Just look. I did this. Well, I didn't cut it, but I did this. I did a thing. At the beginning of the video, I wasn't really sure about like the lines, but I kind of like it. It's very like Wimbledon-esque. What you wouldn't have known is throughout this video, or whilst it's been cutting out here, I have actually been out and I've been snipping out some of like the roots that are sticking out from previous like weeds that were in here, keeping it below the lawnmower so it's been able to get up and down. This is actually its second cut because we did the first cut and then it left a lot of areas untouched, like the nettles that I mentioned earlier. So I came out with a strimmer, trimmed back the nettles, and then I gave it another pass at it. And to be fair to the lawnmower, it got stuck once on the path. There's something, the same place it got stuck last on the first run on that corner, it gets stuck there. I don't know why. There's nothing to stop it from getting stuck there, but I feel like there's something on the center because there's a big bush there and it's turning a corner, so it might be something associated with that. I'm not entirely sure why it stops there, but all the same, it managed to do this entire area, excluding obviously this area. I had to move the trampoline because it doesn't see like the legs for it, and it goes over the leg and then it kind of just gets stuck. It beaches itself essentially. So I put it in there for the time being, but otherwise it has cut literally everything. What I am now thinking, however, is because I'm getting some wood chip delivered and dropped off in between the trees over there where we're going to have like a go ape thing, this area I'm kind of feeling like the play area, not necessarily this one, I might build a new one, but a play set should go here rather than me trying to seed it. I'm a little bit torn at the moment because this looks really good. Now that the grass is like properly growing in and it's being cut and it should get thicker and more luscious, if this looked all the way through, it would look amazing. It's a bit odd that the grass is a different shade and stuff like that, but beggars can't be choosers. Yeah, I feel like it would look amazing if it was all grass. However, I kind of like the idea of putting wood chip there and creating a definitive play area for the kids. That way we have this lovely event green area here where it's all bordered and you can see the grass, and then from that tree there straight across to this tree here, basically that quadrant there, fill this with wood chip between the trees as well, because grass isn't growing between the trees very well anyways. And then we have like a wood chip area for the playset to go. As even though the lawnmower managed to do all this perfectly fine, the soil over there, as I mentioned, is really, really soft. And I've had to tread on it quite a bit where it goes, because it does start wheel spinning a little bit, because I don't think you realize like it is so soft. It's so soft here. So it's a wonder that it managed to do it in the end. I think maybe after its second pass through it, it kind of figured out the best route to take, and the ground got a little bit firmer. So it's obviously got tread marks where it's gone through this. So yeah, let me know in the comments down below what you think. Do you think we should wood chip this area? Because between the trees we're going to put decking, and then I'm thinking of making like a stairwell up to like a little tree house in this tree with like a zip wire that comes off it and stuff like that. And then if that's linked directly to the play area, I feel like it just make this area all tight, like it would just tie everything in. As little known fact, I hate the fact that that is where it is. It made sense at the time we put it there, but now I don't like it being there. So I'm thinking pull it out the way, put it here somewhere in this space, have a decking area, a little tree house up here, eating area, barbecue area between the trees, all of this wood chip, and then the lawnmower literally has kind of like a square area just to mow. And to be fair, it's got nothing to do with the lawnmower. It's more just to do with the fact that how I want to lay this out. I just can't get over how good this is looking so far. I can't wait for the grass to get even thicker, for me to get to a point where I probably will need to overseed, because where I'm stood at the moment, it obviously looks really good here, but the further you go around this way, this is where obviously it gets really patchy. And I don't know if it's because there's so many trees in this area, but yeah, wood chip straight across there, overseed this and try and get the grass growing through it, and then little overseed on some of the patches around here. Like there was a slab there, that's why there's compost. All in all, the experience I've had with this lawnmower has been, it's been such a good day. Like from the transformation of the flower beds in the garden, albeit a very small detail, makes such a difference when you're walking down to the house. When you park up here, you get out of the car and you look at this, it just looks so good. And it's at its first stage. That's the first cut. Well, technically it's the second cut, but it's the first cut of the grass, and it just looks so good. One thing I have done is I've set a schedule, so it's going to cut on Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays, so it's like every other day. Now when you have like a big lawnmower, you'd probably cut it like once a week or something like that, or once every other week, but because it's like only cutting like the top, like the tips of the grass off, it's actually fine to keep it going on a schedule like that. So it's going to come out here on those days, come out and cut the grass, and I don't have to do anything, which is bliss. It's so nice. In the future there may be another video where I go and set up some like new paths for it to take, and I'll change the paths and maybe change the zones that it cuts in, because obviously I've got grass over there as well which could do a cutting, and I could basically get it to cut everything. The fact that it can just get anywhere, it still boggles my brain that it just doesn't need anything. And on top of that, I would like to create a little home, because right now it's just sat under the gazebo, and now that I've tidied this up, that little nook there under this like bench, it would fit in there quite nicely, so I might move it to that in the future. But yeah, what a good lawnmower. Thank you very much, Hookii, for sending that out to me. I really do appreciate it. There'll be a link in the description, and I'll probably put one in the pinned comments as well, so you can actually go check it out and look for yourself if there's something you want to look to, because I've tried out a couple robot lawnmowers now, and I think the last one I had to do, there was like a satellite in the ground and it was all sorts of like setup, whereas this one, like I said, I was a little bit mean when I said like I just plugged it in, and like I just wanted to see how it could do it, and I quite literally plugged it in, did a firmware update because it needed an update, and then after that I literally drove it up, drew the perimeter and just let it go, and it's managed it perfectly fine. If it wasn't for the fact that I live in a very unusual spot with like the ground being up and down and the holes all over the place, I don't think it would have got stuck at all. So if you're someone out there with like a big lawn, or even I think my mum was thinking about like something for the campsite where it's just like a straight field, like it would be perfect for something like that. It would look so good as well. But with the event green at its next stage and now cut nicely and progress made in the garden, it is time for me to relax for the rest of the day, chill out and switch off. So thank you very much for watching. I really do appreciate it. In the future, I'm probably going to get a jet wash out and pressure wash everything because it is filthy. I did try and like brush it down the best I could, but I don't know if you would have saw my brush broke on me, so I can't brush anything at the moment. But we are going to continue the flower bed going into there and just tidy up the rest of this bed, obviously picking up some flowers here and there as we go. I did say to Jess recently, if I'm ever in a garden centre or if I'm ever in like a shop that sells flowers, that to stop me, and every time I want to buy a flower, to buy a post, because I really need to finish the fence. It's getting to the point where Lily is super adventurous, and Benjamin gets excited and he like goes off into his own little world and he can't necessarily always rely on a 6-year-old to look after Lilia. So I do need to finish off the fencing and get this whole area secure so I can be like, go play outside, and I don't have to worry, because at the moment she can just kind of escape and go into the woods. So yeah, that's something that I need to think about in the future. But buying flowers is nice. Like the beds are looking so good. Like I said, I want to go speak to my nan, just to catch up, to be honest, because it's been a while, but also just to see if there's any flowers that she would like me to plant, because she's been doing this garden for years and years, and she'll have a better idea than anybody, to be honest, and she'll have a good idea of what nice flowers are. I have no idea. I literally go to the shop, look at the picture, I'm like, oh, that's pretty, and then I plant it. So I feel like that's the best way to do it. But yeah, we get in there. progress is being made. But yeah, anyways, thank you very much again for watching. I really do appreciate it. Big shout out to Hookii for sending me out the robot lawnmower, as I'm sure you'll see it featured in many more videos. It did kind of take over this whole vlog, which I hadn't intended on it doing so, but I wanted to make a video out of like the whole event green area and progress over there, but things just kind of twisted and turned. I ended up yapping about the thing because I thought it was blowing my mind, and then I was like, oh, I need to do some mod jobs, and it just digressed, much like this outro is. So I've had to interrupt myself because I'm just yapping on like you wouldn't believe. But big shout out to the guys over on Patreon. Thank you very much for going that extra mile to support me and my family and allowing us to do these things. A big shout out to all the guys that subscribe and watch these videos. If it wasn't for you, and companies like Hookii probably wouldn't send me these things out. So I really do appreciate it. And it's nice to be able to share products that are actually really good with you guys. As I said, links down below if you want to go check it out. But on that note, I think because I'm tired, my mouth is going off. So I'm going to disappear. I'll catch you guys next time. Peace, much love. Bye-bye.